It's a very special thing. You don't often see cormorants nesting on old metal pipes from oil platforms. That's something you won't find just anywhere. But here, on the Caspian, it happened.
Today I'm back in Azerbaijan with Professor Elchin. He wants to show me the beauty and strength of nature. Nature that came back to places once ruled by people. Hey, what are those footprints?
These aren't bird tracks. Look, there's no third toe. Maybe it was a hare. Oh, and look here, a hoof print. This one's more of a paired track. Looks like hooves. That's from an animal like a sheep or a young ram. They live around here too.
Wow, and what about these big ones?
That's a gull print.
Where is it?
Cormorants have 4 webbed toes. Gulls only have 3.
So many birds walked here.
They're flying all around. Look at all these footprints. Those are gulls sitting right on that little island. Look at the rock on the far right.
Can I try, please?
Sure, try to spot it.
I'll try. I can do it.
The white gulls are sitting right on the edge of that little rocky cliff. Can you find it?
Where is it?
You need some practice with binoculars. You have to use them often so your hands and eyes learn to work together. See that rocky ridge?
Wow.
Move up and down a bit. Got it? Now move slowly to the far right edge.
Yes, I got it.
Good job. Those are gulls. They might be slender-billed gull. I saw a pinkish color on their chests when they flew close. That pink shade means they're slender-billed gull. Gulls eat more than just fish. They'll grab mice too if they get the chance.
They will eat anything they can catch.
Let's set up the telescope here on this little rise and take a look at that platform and the tiny islands nearby. I think cormorants are nesting there. Those old platforms were once used for oil drilling a long time ago, but they've been abandoned for 50 or 60 years, maybe more. And the cormorants love them. Now out in the sea, these birds nest on old oil rigs. Sometimes they're 30 or 40 kilometers from shore. Take a look. See how there's a nest on every single post and a bird sitting on it? What do you see through the lens? A nest, right?
So many nests out there.
And what else? A big bird. And what's next to it?
Cormorants and baby cormorants.
Yes, there's a nestling baby bird. You can see its little head peeking out, but I'm sure there are more. They don't hatch all at once. One might hatch today, the others tomorrow, maybe even the day after. Each of these metal posts has one nest. There are 15 in total. They're all old pipes.
Oh my God, amazing!
Yes, a migrating flock, flying in a V shape. Those are cormorants too. See how many there are? So many cormorants.
I can see them!
You see? That's about 100 birds. Cormorants can nest in trees, you know. But here the tangled metal replaces the branches. It's like a metal forest for them.
I've seen so many of them!
So many of them, exactly. A big nesting colony. Now look at these platforms. The question is, do they harm nature or help it? Of course, if a platform is abandoned, it's no longer in use. A ship could crash into it. That's a risk. But on the other hand, these platforms have become nesting spots for many birds. Back when they still had wooden decks, even gulls used to nest there. Now the wood has rotted away, only the metal is left. And look, even on the metal you can see so many cormorant nests.
What happens if oil gets on a bird's feathers?
If oil, any kind, gets on a bird's feathers, it removes the natural layer of grease that keeps it dry. And then what happens?
It sinks?
No, it doesn't sink. Without that natural protection, cold seawater seeps through and reaches their skin, especially during winter. The bird gets colder and colder. It tries to eat more to stay warm, but there's not enough food. So it grows weaker, thinner, and in the end it dies of exhaustion. You can sometimes see it here. coots walking slowly along the shore, hiding between rocks. They're black, so it's hard to notice the oil on them, but they are coated in it. And sadly, those birds are already in trouble. They can't stay warm, they lose too much heat in the icy water. And no matter how much they eat, it's not enough to survive. That's why oil spills are so dangerous for wildlife. If a huge tanker, carrying, in example, 1,000 tons of oil, were to spill its load into the sea, it would be a disaster, a real environmental emergency. That's why special teams are always watching. If oil starts leaking, they rush to help as fast as they can.
I have a question. Those coots covered in oil, how can someone catch them with their hands?
Because they're already helpless.
But they still can fly?
No, they're too weak by then. They've lost too much energy, so sometimes you can just pick them up.
I would take them home, put them in a warm tub, help them get better, and then set them free.
Yes, that's what someone who cares would do. But the thing is, when you wash a bird, it gets very stressed. Sometimes it doesn't die from the oil, it dies from the stress. All the handling, turning and cleaning is hard on it. In the past, nearly 90% of birds people tried to save didn't survive. Now we do it more gently. And if there's a big oil spill, we have trained teams ready to help at any moment. See this plastic bag? Where do you think it came from? The wind blew it here. In open places, plastic bags are a real problem. They're everywhere.
Do birds or animals get hurt by these bags?
You know who suffers more from these plastic bags? Cows. They sometimes eat them by accident. Birds are not affected that much. Actually, this place is very beautiful. But it's also an old hunting ground from long, long ago, even before Azerbaijan became independent. Here, hunting water birds is only allowed in winter, when the birds come here to spend the cold months. November, December, January and February, so just 4 months. And even then, people can only hunt on Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays. If we look around, we might find empty shotgun shells left by hunters from last winter. See those shotgun shells? That's where hunters hide, in something called a blind, in a little hiding spot. They come early before sunrise and wait quietly. When a bird flies close, they try to shoot. Most of all, they hunt coots, because coots aren't very afraid of people. Ducks, on the other hand, are very shy and get scared easily. But coots, they stay closer. They don't run or fly away as quickly.
Our geese get scared easily too?
Even more. They're very hard to find and even harder to shoot. Very careful birds. That's why fewer geese get hunted. And now, why is it wrong to hunt birds in spring? It's not just wrong, it's cruel. Winter hunting is only allowed until early or mid-February. Do you know why?
Because it's nesting time?
Exactly. You see, if someone shoots just one bird in spring, it's like losing 3 or 4 birds in the fall. Because by autumn, that one bird could have come back with a family. Usually a pair of ducks returns with 3 ducklings. That's why there are about 2 or even 3 times more birds in autumn than in spring. So it's really important not to hunt them in spring. In many countries, autumn hunting is allowed instead, when birds are flying back. People still hunt because the instinct is strong. Our ancient ancestors, the ones who lived in caves, only ate meat they hunted. And for some people, that instinct never fully disappeared. But even if they hunt, they shouldn't leave trash behind. See these empty shotgun shells? You can't just throw them on the ground. They pollute nature too. They used to be made of cardboard and would break down quickly. But now they're made of plastic, and they can stay in the grass or sand for years without disappearing. And that's harmful, no doubt about it. Some people take special classes and pass exams to get permission to put rings on birds. It's called bird banding. They use big soft nets that look like spider webs. When a bird flies into the net, it gently gets caught. But you have to help it quickly, within 30 to 40 minutes, or the bird might get too stressed or tired. That's why usually 3 or 4 people work together. The more helpers, the better. They carefully take the bird out, put a little ring on its leg and let it fly free again. Just like you said, catch it, band it and set it free.
Can we just catch birds just like that?
No, you're not allowed to just catch birds for fun. That's why many people learn how to band them, so they can hold a bird in their hands, see it up close and learn more about it. But the rule is if you catch it, you have to put a ring on it and then let it go right away.
Where do you study to do that?
Unfortunately, in our country, we don't have such learning programs. I'm not sure how it is in Ukraine, but I've seen bird banding in places like Norway and Germany. Sometimes German researchers even come here and do banding work. I bring my students to watch and learn how it's done.
So, if hunter doesn't see the ring, could he shoot the bird?
Yes, birds with rings still get shot sometimes. Hunters fire from far away, maybe 50 meters, and often in the early morning when it's still dark and misty. Sometimes they shoot just by sound, by the whistle of wings flying past. They simply don't see the ring. Usually it only becomes visible when the bird falls and they walk over to it. If a hunter finds a ring on a bird, he's supposed to take it, put it in an envelope and send it to the address written on it.
Why?
That way the scientists who ring the bird can find out where it ended up, its final stop. They look at the map and say, Yisko, here's where we tagged it, and here's where it was found. Findings like these helped us discover that some gulls nest near Baku and then fly all the way to northern Eurasia and Egypt in example. In many Western European countries, there are hardly any young hunters left. They think more like you do, and they simply don't want to shoot.
Why not?
Because that's how they were raised. They were taught that nature is running out and that it's wrong to kill the last of the wild animals. So they choose just not to hunt.
My walk with Professor Elchin didn't feel like an adventure. It was slow, quiet. Nature here is fragile, almost see-through. It doesn't shout, it speaks in a whisper. But if you listen, really listen, you understand how beautiful it is and how important it is to protect it.